Hello and welcome to The Perspective. I'm your host Rafae Iqbal, and in today's show we'll be talking about the SCO Summit that is to be hosted in Islamabad on the 15th and 16th of this month. With regards to that, we know that heads of all the member states of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization are going to be coming in. Of course, with regards to that, we know that the Russian and the Chinese Prime Ministers are also going to be participating in this summit. We know that a foolproof security plan is in place for the SCO Summit. With regards to that, Section 144 has been imposed in Rawalpindi, Islamabad and different districts of Punjab. We also know that the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, he personally supervised all the arrangements made and he expressed satisfaction at all the arrangements made for the SCO Summit. Earlier today, the federal cabinet members, they addressed a ceremony related to China Chamber of Commerce. The Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb, he highlighted the ironclad friendship between Pakistan and China, and of course he also mentioned that CPEC, which has proven as a game changer in Pakistan's infrastructure and energy domains, and of course he also referred to CPEC Phase 2 starting and how the visit of the Chinese Premier Li Qiang in Pakistan is going to be very significant. Regards the SCO Summit, earlier in the day, the Information Minister also, while addressing the China Chamber of Commerce, he highlighted firstly Pakistan's and China's deep-rooted fraternal ties, and of course how these ties have passed on through generations. Secondly, he also laid emphasis on the significance of the SCO Summit with regards to regional cooperation and of course enhancing trade opportunities for all the member states of the SCO. We know that the MOUs and agreements are also expected to be signed, as of course the SCO provides Pakistan with a position and an opportunity to improve its stature overall in the country and in the Committee of Nations. Of course, these are the different aspects that we'll be discussing regarding the SCO Summit that is to be hosted on the 15th and 16th of October. In the studios, we've been joined by Dr. Manzoor Ahmad, former ambassador to the World Trade Organization. Along with that, we have been joined by Khalid Taimur Akram, who is an international relations expert. On Skype, we have been joined by Dr. Amna Mahmood, who is a foreign affairs expert. Thank you all for your time and being part of the conversation. I'll start off our conversation from I'll start off our conversation from the studios, specifically with, from Dr. Manzoor. So, as we talk about the SCO Summit, of course, it's a very significant platform when we talk about regional connectivity, regional cooperation, and of course, when we talk about the vision behind the SCO, it goes back to President Xi's vision of regional cooperation, of course, as it roots from the Belt and Road Initiative. How big of a success would you term this summit of the SCO with regards to the regional cooperation, with regards to addressing the problems being faced by the countries of the region, and of course the aims and objectives the SCO which it wants to achieve?
Well, it's indeed an extremely important conference, as you mentioned. I mean, if the Russian Prime Minister, the Chinese Prime Minister, Indian Secretary of Foreign Affairs, and all these countries, this is after a long time. It's happening in Pakistan. I mean, I could remember that 1973 and then 97, I think 50 years of Pakistan, these two conferences. But so for Pakistan, it's a big event. And we just had commerce ministers meeting here, I think a few weeks ago. They discussed all these issues about trade, connectivity, etc. But this particular conference will be a much bigger event because they'll be discussing about the security, about how to increase our cooperation. And it, you know, at one time when the SCO was set up in 2001, it was more about those Central Asian countries and China and Russia trying to bring peace because the borders were not sure. You know, they'd just been, what should I say, become independent, and there was a lot of problems there. So it was only meant for that. But since then, it has expanded. Now it has 10 members. There are 2 other, you know, observers, and then there are many, 24 dialogue partners. That means that those dialogue partners have shown interest in joining it. So it's already huge because it's, you know, almost 80% of the European Asian landmass, and it's huge in terms of population. They almost, I think 40% or something 40%. Like that of population and GDP, and you take it in any terms, but maybe it didn't really enjoy that much of international because such a big, it's all these countries. Perhaps, at one time there was internal dispute between members, and also it's a relatively young organization, so it's taking time to, but it's maturing very well.
Definitely. Mr. Khalid, I'd like your views as well. When we talk about regional cooperation, of course, connectivity with the Central Asian states, that does get included in that. We know the CPEC, of course, and the Belt and Road Initiative, CPEC being a flagship project of that BRI. It focuses on connectivity with the Central Asian states. What opportunities do you think Pakistan is missing out on that it could capitalize on with regards to the SCO, and of course enhancing trade with these member countries of the SCO, and of course with regards to the vision that is being implemented in the region that we see in regards to the CPEC and the BRI?
Yes, first of all, as the ambassador has said, that this is a great occasion for Pakistan, and we would like to welcome all the delegates to Pakistan, because the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's this COG, Council of the Government Heads meeting, which is going to held in Pakistan, is a very, very significant event for Pakistan. It will also give an opportunity to the prime ministers of the region to come to Pakistan and see Pakistan for itself. As we know that CPEC's infrastructure phase is about to get completed, and CPEC is not only for China, but it is also linking the landlocked countries with Pakistan, and through Pakistan with the Indian Ocean. As you know that the Central Asian countries, which were referred as landlocked, now they call themselves as land-linked countries, and they are very happy with the completion of CPEC. So I think Pakistan can capitalize with this kind of the conference, and with the visits, with this high-level visits, Pakistan will have an opportunity to showcase its potential. Pakistan will have an opportunity to tell them about the potentials what we have. But at the same time, SCO has yet to, since it's a new organization, it has yet to finalize on few of the issues, which I think Pakistan can take a lead role. The major challenges are that currently the SCO does not have any kind of legal framework for trade. We need to have collaborations in terms of, because Pakistan, India and South Asia is following the British laws. China has its own legal system, and Central Asia has its own legal system. So SCO can be a place where all these countries can sit together, integrate, and decide a mechanism, a legal framework to work. Then most of the SCO countries, especially the South Asian countries, they do not have any financial framework with Central Asian countries and Russia and other countries. So SCO will also provide a good opportunity for this thing. Also, since Afghanistan is also in the region, and all the SCO countries, fortunately, they surround Afghanistan. So these countries can sit together and talk about a long-term peace effort with Afghanistan. As you know that the present Afghan government is being recognized by China, by Uzbekistan, by almost all the regional countries have sent their ambassadors over there, because we feel that whatever the government is there in Afghanistan, the people of Afghanistan are very close to our heart, and Pakistan has a special relationship with Afghanistan. So I think this SCO conference can also play a bigger role for bringing a long-term peace in Afghanistan also. Same way, the SCO members has to now devise a common easy visa regime, because most of the SCO countries, they have a very difficult visa regime for each other. So maybe they can sit together and have a easy visa regime also. Then the SCO is also working, as I know that they are working on for exchange of education, people-to-people contact. SCO also has a very big setup in Tashkent for the against the counter-terrorism, RATS, the regional anti-terrorism structure.
Mr. Khalid, it's good that you brought all these things up. Of course, as you also mentioned the name of Afghanistan, I'd like to come towards that as well, because the biggest challenge that is a threat to the SCO, and of course the agendas that it wants to achieve, is the security threat that the region faces. But before that, I'd like views from Dr. Manzoor with regards to sustainable development. When of course we talk about enhancing trade, when we talk about enhancing economic activities between the member states, of course sustainable development goals, they're also a major objective for all of the countries that are part of the SCO. Of course, Pakistan is also a party to that, and so is China, so is Russia, so is all the member states. Sustainable development in these modern times, how do you think the SCO could prove as a practical platform that actually contributes? We know that climate change is a top issue, we know that education and of course technology in this digital era. How do you comment on that?
Yes, all those and two other important points. One, we have this CPEC, corridor, but it's still not connecting other SCO countries. It can quite easily Central Asia, it could go all the way to Russia. And then there's another route being developed from Russia, Central Asia, Iran, and now going to India. And now this north-south, I mean, we have this route, but that could also be connected. The other big thing is that on the one hand, you have all these big energy giants like, Kazakhstan and Russia and Turkmenistan and Iran. And the other side, it is all big consumers of this thing. And we've had this TAPI pipeline for, I don't know, from 94, started already 30 years. It's not made much progress. We had another pipeline coming from Iran to India. And maybe Iran now has a problem with sanctions, but it's been a long time. It was signed up and everything. And so if we had been a little, I should say, agile to seize this opportunity, I mean, we would have earned millions plus in transit fee, plus our own energy would have been secured, instead of we are always running in one place and another. So that is one point. The other thing is that these countries now can, in terms of trade, we have a free trade agreement with China, but we tried for many years now, from 2001, to have another agreement, ECO, transit, and that's mostly connecting these Central Asian countries with Pakistan. And unfortunately, it's more or less on paper. It didn't really make much progress. And we are missing out these opportunities. So, yeah.
Of course, important opportunities to capitalize on. With regards to that, Mr. Khalid, as you raise a very important point regarding the security issues that the region faces at large. Of course, we know there's one country in particular, Afghanistan, that's land is being used to create instability in the region. What measures do you think the SCO as a regional platform could play? Of course, the RATS as a counterterrorism measure, and of course, what measures do you think further this platform could take with, of course, regards to curbing down those tensions, diffusing those tensions that flame up this terrorism and militancy in the region?
Yes, as you know that ever since Taliban have taken over the Afghan government on 15th of August 2021, there have been many instances that Pakistan has been requesting them, Pakistan has been talking to them to stop the cross-border terrorism and to rein the terrorist organizations which are present in Afghanistan. But unfortunately, the Afghan government still does not have that much of control in their own territory, and most of the area is controlled through warlords. Yes, of course, Afghanistan has a large population of Tajik ethnic Afghans and Uzbek ethnic Afghans and Hazaras and all other ethnicities, and the regional countries can play a bigger role. Uzbeks have been talking to Afghans, Tajiks have been talking to Afghans, even Chinese have been talking to Afghan, and I think the SCO platform can play a very, very important role. Over here, I would like to mention one thing, that the Afghan government also realizes the importance of Afghanistan vis-a-vis the transit trade. We know that ever since the Taliban government had come in power, they had terminated almost all the big agreements which were done by the previous governments. But two important things they did not terminate it. One is their membership of the SCO. They still want to be the member of SCO, and I remember in October 2021 there was a SCO meeting in Tajikistan where the present Afghan government wrote a letter to the SCO Secretariat that please keep our seat and we would like to still be the member of SCO. And another thing which is very positive is that the Afghans have, the Afghan government has not pulled out of the Trans-Afghan railway project. This railway project was announced between Uzbekistan, Afghanistan and Pakistan, which would be connecting Central Asia to Gwadar port via Afghanistan. It's a 760 kilometer long railway line. On that project the Afghans have not pulled out, and still they are working with Pakistan and Uzbekistan on that, and in 2022 December the feasibility got completed, and for the first time in Afghanistan now they have a railway ministry, although they do not have a formal railway, but they have a railway ministry to oversee this project. So they understand the importance of Central South Asia connectivity. They understand the importance of the regional trade, and we have realized this thing that, and they have realized this thing that they have to have good relationship with the neighboring countries, and especially Pakistan. As we know that Pakistan has always been supporting Afghan people. Pakistan has been hosting Afghanis for a very, very long time. I think ever since 1979, Pakistan has been a second home for Afghani people. But as I said that the present situation of Afghanistan is not that conducive for the transit trade, and I think the platform of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization will be very, very beneficial for talking to them, because the SCO countries can talk with Afghans with one voice. And over here I would also like to make a special mention of the SCO summit which happened 2 years back in Tashkent. In that the SCO countries jointly decided to facilitate Afghanistan, and the Uzbek government provided a platform in Tirmiz. They made a Afghan transit trade hub in Tirmiz to facilitate Afghanistan. Currently Pakistan, the trucks from Pakistan are going through Afghanistan to Uzbekistan and then to Kazakhstan also, but it's not happening in the pace it should happen. So I think that these countries can sit with Afghan government, and some sense will come into the Afghan government to cooperate in terms of counter-terrorism with the regional countries.
Definitely. Dr. Manzoor, I'd like to include your views in the conversation when we talk about the Afghanistan issue and of course the issue of terrorism. There's two things. Firstly, a more inclusive environment in Afghanistan, providing the masses there with more opportunities for economic uplift that could of course prove as a wall between those outfits that exploit the people there in the garb of financial aid or whatever they offer. And secondly, do you think, of course, with regards to the issue of terrorism, do you think intelligence and tech transfer, and of course, when we talk about concerted efforts with regards to the SCO, do you think that could play a major role in curbing down the issue of terrorism in the region?
You see, when SCO was set up, one important standing body was RATS that you mentioned. This is, I think it's called the Regional Antiterrorist Organization, something RATS.
Yes.
So, because originally the purpose was mostly around that, now it's expanded. They have a lot of experience in this, and I think China is already investing in Afghanistan, and trying to bring it more inclusive development. And I think there was something, as my friend was just saying, Khalid Saab, that they were to they wrote for the last meeting, and they also were keen on this one, but perhaps something, some instance, it didn't work out. But they are keen to be here, and all these SCO countries are concerned. Pakistan is the basic concern, but all other countries are concerned about this. So this is behind the scene they're working on somehow to cool it down. Afghan terrorism. Sorry, what was your other point?
The point was, of course, when we talk about the Afghanistan issue and, of course, the issue of terrorism in Afghanistan, providing them inclusive opportunities for economic uplift.
Yes. Yes, and I think if this interconnectivity, I mean, there is, you know, some trucks going through Pakistan or some of their trucks, but actually both countries create a lot of hurdles for each other, both Pakistan as well as Afghanistan. So we need to sit down and resolve these issues, because Pakistan's thinking is that whatever smuggling occurs, if we allow any transit trade, that comes through. But even when they don't allow it, it comes via Iran, etc. So they need to bring down their tariffs so that this smuggling is not, I should say, profitable for these smugglers to take it all the way there and bring it back.
It should be streamlined.
So Pakistan should streamline its own tariff policies so that it's no more profitable to go there and come back. Pakistan has to look at the overall picture, not just that we stop on the border. They've tried it for many, many years and it doesn't work. And Pakistan, I think there is now this, all these countries are wanting to pay, because Pakistan is the shortest route to sea. I mean, we have 3 ports, for all year ports, and all these landlocked countries, Afghanistan including, all the Central Asia. But as yet, I mean, okay, now maybe with Gwadar port now completing maybe, and also some of our ports now being run by, you know, this UAE or some becoming more efficient, maybe it will grow, but it needs to grow far more than it's doing now.
Definitely. As we're moving towards the conclusion of the show, Mr. Khalid, I'd like your views on the vision of President Xi. Of course, when we talk about the SCO, the vision traces back to the Belt and Road Initiative, and of course what regional cooperation and of course concerted efforts and integration of the region at large. In this era of conflict and heightened tensions, the vision of President Xi, coordination, not confrontation. How do you comment on that?
Yes, I would like to take you to March 2013, when President Xi Jinping announced the concept of the community with shared future. He went to Russia on a visit, and over there in March 2013, he announced a new concept, which was a concept of the community with shared future. It was its own inclusive concept, a win-win situation for everybody. And then after that, we saw that in May 2013, China announced the Belt and Road Program, and now Belt and Road Program has 155 countries, partner countries, and they have 30 organizations, including SCO as partner to that. So President Xi Jinping's vision is all-inclusive. It is that no country is big or small. Every partner is equal. It is not colonizing any country. It is not enforcing a will of one country on another country. So we have seen that the Belt and Road Program has completed 10 years. The infrastructure part is about to get completed, and the trade part and the other connectivity things like people-to-people contact and other things are now in offing. So I would say one thing, that Shanghai Cooperation Organization truly reflects the vision of President Xi Jinping as vis-a-vis his concept of community with shared future. Shanghai Cooperation Organization can provide that platform which is needed in the Belt and Road Initiative, because BRI is just the infrastructure. It is the name of the connectivity through road and rail network. And Shanghai Cooperation Organization provides us a platform where we can talk about tariffs, where we can have a single tariff in the member countries, where we can have easy visa regimes, where we can have tomorrow maybe we can have a SCO bank, tomorrow we can have a SCO SCO connectivity corridor, in which we can do away with QTTs. Right now Pakistan have to sign quadrilateral transit trade agreements, because the transit trade is going through not through one country but through multiple countries to reach at the back end countries of the landlocked or land linked countries. So all all these things, the banking sector, because now if we have to send money to these Central Asian countries, it has to route through some international channels.
Definitely.
So maybe SCO can have a banking channel. So all these kinds of things which are in line with the vision of President Xi Jinping can be catered in Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And here I would like to mention this thing again, that SCO conference in Pakistan is not only important for Pakistan, but it is also important for the regional countries, because these countries tomorrow have to use this transit trade route. So it is a good opportunity that their prime ministers, their ministers, their government officials come to Pakistan, see for themselves that what Pakistan is, because as we know that there's a lot of negative propaganda against Pakistan on social media, on Western media. So once they will come to Pakistan, they will see everything for themselves, then they will know that Pakistan does not only have hospitable people, but the investment environment in Pakistan and the trade environment in Pakistan is also very conducive for them.
Definitely. Dr. Manzoor, I'd like your views in with regards to, of course, Pakistan's economic and, of course, sector and the avenues that we see. Of course, the SCO, it will provide Pakistan as an opportunity to showcase to the world the potential it truly has. What role do you think the SIFC has played in that? Of course, we know that a lot of foreign direct investment came into the country with regards to SIFC, and of course, prior to that, there was the infrastructure and energy sector that the country was focusing on. Now, there's new avenues such as blue economy as well, and different other mining and mineral sector, which of course Pakistan wasn't paying as much attention to prior, and of course the agriculture sector, which we now want to revolutionize with the help of technology. What significance would you attribute to the SIFC that has played in attracting foreign direct investment into the country? And of course, secondly, there's a second leg to the question as well. Do you think the SIFC could play a role with regards to the local businesses as well in facilitating them?
Yes, I mean all those areas that you mentioned, plus the biggest role of SIFC was that previously our friends, Middle East, elsewhere, they said, you know, if they want to invest something in Pakistan, it takes years and years and years. So SIFC was able to cut this red tape. You know, they were able to move many of these projects. I mean, you know, it takes a little while to get the results, but I mean, we are pushing now this privatization, and last week we had this big, huge delegation from Saudi. So all the they're looking at opportunities, and they want to come, especially in agriculture. You know, already you saw that we used to export about 3 billion, something like, mostly rice, and now this year, last year, it was 7 billion. You know, I mean, there may have been other friendly, other, what should I, circumstances as well, like bumper crops, etc. But it was, the SIFC's push had a lot to do with this. So SIFC is playing, I think, a very powerful role. I think with the new IMF conditionalities, this will have some problems. But one other last point I'd like to make is that, you know, you raised about President Xi's. And what China, I mean, despite their rise, despite their becoming the biggest trading partners for 120, 30 countries, and this Belt and Road Initiative being everywhere, China wants it peaceful. You know, they don't want to confront. It's in fact the other way around. It's the US, you know, trying. China says, okay, if you have any trade problems, let's go through the WTO route where there is a dispute settlement thing. So I think China has been really very sensible, despite all the propaganda, etc. They try not to be confrontational. I mean, they all right. They don't want to be pushed. I mean, US put all these tariffs, and in return, they also did it, but not to the same level. And they are always trying to find some, and already with the EU also they are having a little problem. But EU sees that China is more reasonable and US is being unreasonable. But okay, you know, they had a close relationship with US for a long, long time. But China has been, I think, very calmly trying to, I mean, it's growing. It likes to grow. It wants to be number one. It's a number 2 economy already in a few years' time. But at the same time, it doesn't really want confrontation.
And how do you comment on the vision in regards to the conflicts that we're seeing in the world? Of course, these are times of heightened tensions. Two conflicts going on in the world at the moment, one in the Middle East, the other in Ukraine. Of course, with this vision, how do you see the way forward? And do you think the global community, they could have and should create some vacuum to, of course, implement these kind of visions that promote global unity?
Yes, that's very unfortunate. Both those, I mean, you know, and there, Russia, Ukraine was a smaller country, and actually Russia occupying some, in this time and age, occupying some land, and we see a much more cruel treatment in Gaza and all that, and genocide happening in front of everybody. Unfortunately, China has been normally very calm. They don't want to interfere. Behind the scene, they would do something, but you know, they don't do it. But hopefully this getting together of all these leaders here, they would see what's happening, and you know, behind the scene maybe.
Well, that's how diplomacy is.
Yes, they'll try to, you know, do something about it.
Practical diplomacy, right? Mr. Khalid, of course, when we talk about the potential Pakistan has a huge workforce that it exports, of course, services and labor that it exports to other countries. But of course, it's not skilled labor. How do you think the SCO member states and China could help Pakistan with regards to that? As of course, it's one of the biggest industrial states in the world at the moment.
Yes, as you know that population-wise, Pakistan is the third largest country in the SCO, and Pakistan has an edge because Pakistan is member of, Pakistan is part of BRI, and vis-a-vis our neighboring country India, which does not recognize as BRI, and they want to make their own route, spice route. So Pakistan can learn a lot from China. Pakistan is already learning a lot from China, and yes, Pakistan needs to have skilled labor, which tomorrow can be very helpful for the CPEC route countries, because we need to train our people. Now, as we are entering from first phase of the CPEC into the second phase of the CPEC, so what Pakistan needs right now is to train youth in various service industries, because as a transit country, as a major transit country, we need to increase our services. We need to increase our logistic services. We need to put in order our hospitality services. We need to put in order all the services related to the energy sector, all the services related to the industrial sector, because including IT and other sectors. So all these sectors need to be improved, and this skilled labor, we don't have to export this skilled labor to these countries, but once we train this labor over here, so they can facilitate the trade, they can facilitate the connectivity, because ultimately the land-linked countries have to use Pakistan. They have to enter from Peshawar, coming from Central Asia and going all the way to Gwadar. They would need logistics, they would need a place to stay, they would need somebody to load the things, they would need lots of logistics, maritime logistics, railway logistics, other land logistics. So for them, we need to prepare our youth. And I think China can play a very crucial role in training our youth. China can play a very, very crucial role. And in the energy sector, we can take help from Kazakhstan, we can take the help from Turkmenistan and these countries.
Definitely, of course, there is a youth bulge in the country, and of course, this youth bulge, if given the right guidance, they've given the right trainings, and if imparted the right skills, it could obviously contribute a lot to Pakistan's national economy. Of course, Dr. Manzoor Ahmad, former ambassador to the World Trade Organization, and Khalid Taimur Akram, an international relations expert. Thank you both for your time and being part of the conversation. Of course, your insights are very much appreciated. That wraps up the perspective for today. Of course, we discussed the SCO Summit that is to be hosted on the 15th and 16th of October, the potential that it holds for all the member states, and of course the potential that it holds for Pakistan, and how this SCO Summit that is going to be held is going to prove as a very significant event in the region and in the world at large. That's all we have for today. See you same time next week. Till then, take care.